The Mad Bloods coming from your music tune. Just the Mad Blood.
Dr. Dre eats the Carolina Reaper. Watching so many movies, he turns into the Jeeper Reaper.
Yeah,
Monster Kid from the start.
from the
But he ain't got brains, but he got heart.
But he got hard.
Hey, the patients are here.
Hi,
Hi, patients.
patients!
You got a film to review.
We do!
Yes.
We do!
So, hop back there.
Hippity hop to the barber shop. Hey, Doc.
Hey.
Why, here's a joke.
You know what, since you're here, sure.
Patients, do you want to... Here's a joke.
Tell me a joke.
They do.
Okay.
Hey, Doc.
Yes.
What do you call, patients? What do you call a psychic little person who has escaped from prison? What do you call them, Doc? What do you call
I'm
them?
just
What do you
trying
call them,
to-
patients?
What do you call a psychic
Yes!
little person who
Yes!
has escaped from prison?
Yes! What do you call them? What do you call them, Doc? What do you call them? What do you call them, patients? Do you know?
I have no
Do you
idea.
know?
I don't
Patients,
know.
Do you know?
What do you call?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Bad. What do you?
Patients, do you know? Uncle Polly, do you know? Does anybody really know?
Nobody knows.
Okay, Doc. Okay, patients. You call them. Where do you hear this? You ready?
I'm waiting. I'm ready.
A small, medium, at large.
Oh, a small, medium, at large.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, what?
What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet?
What did the
What did he say, patients? When the janitor jumped out of the closet?
The
What'd he
janitor
say?
was in the closet,
Yes!
and he jumps out,
Yes!
and he says, "Booga
Yes!
booga 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 boo."
No.
No,
What's he say, patients? What's he say? What's he say, Doc?
I don't know. What does the janitor say when he jumps out of a closet?
No, booga 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 boo.
No.
Patients, do you know? Do you know? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready, patients? Are you ready for this? He says, supplies.
That's horrible.
Isn't that good?
He says supplies.
Yes.
Gus, rim shot.
Yeah, I got the rim shot. Thanks, Gussie.
We don't have time for any more. We need.
We don't.
No.
We don't.
No.
Okay. Next time.
Next time.
Next time.
Back behind the camera.
Next time. I got more minutes.
Hey, welcome back to Dr. Dread Reviews. We got I think this is a forgotten classic.
Forgotten.
Yes.
Yes.
1981.
Yes.
The Monster Club. Take one. Roll that film.
Roll that film. Roll that film. Roll it. Roll it. Roll it.
Vincent Price.
Vincent Price.
He is... If you don't know who he is,
I know who he is.
there you go. Okay, you may recognize him from House on Haunted Hill,
Yes.
or The Tingler,
Yes.
or those Roger Corman movies, The Pit and the Pendulum, The
Yes.
Raven.
Yes.
Yes.
And the Brady Bunch.
And the Professor Hyde White.
Yes. And the Brady Bunch.
Yes, and the Brady Bunch.
When they goes to Hawaii.
Hawaii. Yeah, okay.
I love that episode.
The other star of this movie, I guess the other main star, is John Carradine.
I love him too, but he was never on the Brady Bunch.
I don't think he was ever on the Brady Bunch, but he has a huge body of work. This man probably worked until he could work no longer. But hey, let's talk about the Monster Club.
Yes.
Made in 1981. Now, you have to go back, hop in that Wayback Machine with me. In the 80s, late 70s into the 80s, we were hit with the slew of slashers.
Yes.
There was Jason, there was Michael, there was Freddy. So the early 80s was full of slashers, and these type of anthology films have gone out of style.
Out of style.
Vincent Price plays a vampire by the name of Aramis, and he's very hungry, and he happens upon John Carradine's character. He bites him, drinks some of his blood, feels so much better, realizes who he is.
Who is he?
He writes horror novels,
Oh.
and he's very famous. Well, Vincent Price is so honored to meet him, and now he feels rejuvenated because he's full of the best tasting blood he ever had. He invites him to go back to the Monster Club.
Monster Club?
The Monster Club is the vehicle by which these three stories are told.
Yes.
Yes. Vincent Price explains to John Carradine that he's got to give him material for his next book.
Yes.
By taking him back to the club where the werewolves and the ghouls and the vampires and the werevamps and the weregoos and the hugoos and the
Bamboos.
maddies, the shaddies, and the
The ratties, the
Ratties
and the
hang out.
shaddies.
creatures I'd never heard of. The shadmocks and the mock shads and the whoosits and the whatsits. So John Carradine agrees. They go to the Monster Club, and it's like a nightclub for monsters.
Yes.
And it got a very, like a disco kind of, feel, different colored lights, monsters dancing,
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now, at this point, you're going to notice, in the movie, and at this point in the movie, you're going to notice
Yes.
the really cheesy mask that the monsters are wearing.
Yes.
They're not even trying to cover up how cheesy these masks are. The film was fairly low budget for the time. It came in at $1.5 million around.
That was how much they paid to Vincent and John Carradine.
That probably covered the money of the actors, and they ran out of special effects money. So they went with masks. And they look like they're bargain basement Kmart after Halloween
Yeah,
special.
but they still look good. It looks
It was,
fun.
but it was fun.
It was very fun.
The club is well lit. The club scenes are really cool with red and green lights,
Yes.
and they really,
It's awesome.
it looked good.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so the first story that Vincent Price tells John Carradine is about the Shadmock.
Yes.
Yes, who whistles.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's sort of like this undead creature who's part vampire, part ghoul, I think. And he's looking for a secretary to help him catalog his artifacts, his treasures, his belongings.
Yes.
So he puts it out in the paper and is answered by a lovely young lady who comes knocking on the door. And at first she is horrified by his mere appearance, but she goes home, talks to her boyfriend. Her boyfriend convinces her that she should go back and take the job for the money because they plan on ripping this guy off.
That's not nice.
So she does. She goes back, and she is still at first repulsed by him. And as repulsed as she is, he's not that repulsive.
I don't think so
He
either.
looks a little ghoulish. He got dark eyebrows. He's pasty, but
Got like gray under around his eyes.
yeah, But
I didn't know it was a vampire.
he's not. Well, I think he's part vampire, part ghoul.
Okay.
A Shadmock. I don't know. And we find out his power is his deadly whistle.
Ooh, and it is deadly.
Yeah. Hey, how about that cat?
What cat?
The cat.
What cat?
Cat in the movie.
Oh, the one that he melted?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not nice.
No. Okay. So he can melt things by whistling.
Just ate a little bird.
He just ate the cat did eat a bird. Yes.
That's not
Okay.
nice for the cat. I think
So-
it's a bird, but he didn't have to milk the cat.
The secretary is proposed to because the Shadmock starts having feelings for her. She at first rejects him, but her boyfriend convinces her to accept the engagement, requests the engagement ring, which is a very valuable antique, get the combination to his safe while he retrieves the ring, and then rip him off later. And his safe is full of rolls of money and
Yes,
jewelry and all that good stuff.
yes.
Well, he opens up the safe, gives her the ring, and announces that they need to have a party to announce the engagement where everybody wears masks because his relatives are also hideous. And she goes to the party and there's some dancing. She dances with a couple people, but then she slips away. And then
Yes, yes.
everything goes horribly wrong.
Yes.
Yes.
She just wanted a few extra dollars.
Okay, so then that segment is over with a little twist. After that, the wraparound segment comes on with John Carradine and Vincent Price. But this is kind of a cool part about this movie. There are musical numbers in between the stories.
Yes,
Yeah, so you're at a nightclub.
yes.
Yes, people are singing. Like the one singer is kind of like rock and roll. The next sounds a little bit like Pat Benatar.
Yes.
And then the last singer at the very end, his music starts out kind of reggae, then it slips into like a new wave feel. Okay, segment 2, Vincent Price, John Carradine. He leads us into the next story, which is about a vampire family.
Yes.
The father's a vampire, the son and the mother are humans.
Yes. Tell him, Doc. Tell him. Who's in it?
This segment stars Britt Eklund.
No.
She's,
Well, yes, but we want to hear about the other
She plays the mother. She was a sex symbol in the late 70s, 80s.
I don't know.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
The
This
other one.
segment also stars a horror fan favorite,
Yes. Yes.
Donald Pleasance, who
Yes.
most people know from his role in James Bond as Blowfield.
I don't know about that. I know him as Dr. Loomis.
Dr. Sam Loomis from the Halloween franchise.
Yes.
Yes. Donald Pleasance plays a vampire hunter. And the
Carries around a violin case.
The father's a vampire, and they warn their son to beware of men carrying violin cases. And you can probably guess what's in the violin case.
Yes.
Not Tommy guns. Like those old gangster movies.
Well, what's in there?
A hammer and a stake.
Oh, no.
Yes. This segment had some humorous parts in it. I think it was the weakest of the 3 stories.
You do?
I do. But it was okay. It had Donald Pleasance. You can't go wrong with
Yes.
Donald
I love him.
Pleasance. Okay.
He's so good. You know what my favorite line is that he says from a movie? Is when he's in Halloween, the very first Halloween. And he says, Lonnie, move your ASS. That's what he says. He says, move your ASS. When he
Okay.
doesn't spell it, he says it.
Okay.
And it's such a good line. I always think of that line because if somebody's really slow in front of me and I want to get around them, I always think of him and I think,
you're digressing.
I think, move your ASS.
Bucky, you're digressing.
Is?
Yes. Back to John Carradine and Vincent Price. They're introducing the 3rd story. There's another musical number. And the 3rd story is,
Yes.
yes, about the Hume Goons.
The human goose.
Half human, half ghouls.
Ooh.
Okay, it starts out really cool. There's, in the very beginning, there's a woman walking down a staircase. It's like foggy, there's chains, there's spider webs. She's carrying a candelabra. And she gets to the bottom of the steps and there's a coffin. And she lets out a scream, but the scream wasn't quite synced with the arm that's coming out of the coffin. And the director yells, cut.
Cut?
Cut.
Like I yell cut?
No, I yell cut.
I yell cut.
No, I yell cut.
I yell cut.
You just cut. I yell cut.
I yell cut too.
Okay, fine. We all yell cut. Bucky,
Yes,
the
Doctor.
director yells cut.
Yes.
And we find out that the director is going to leave this set, this movie set, the studio, and start scouting for a location for his next film. He finds a village, it looks abandoned, the graveyard in the village looks like people dug up all the graves, there's empty holes, markers that are tipped over.
Oh, that's creepy.
It is creepy. Yeah, there's
Creeperific.
Yes, the film is.
Why would he even want to go around there
Creeperific.
by himself?
He's scouting for a film location.
I know, but he should have somebody with him going to creepy places like that.
He stops at the inn. He asks the innkeeper. The innkeeper says that he would have to ask the elders for permission to film. And it's too late now, and he might as well spend the night.
I wouldn't spend the night.
He doesn't want to spend the night.
I would drive home.
He wants to hop in his Porsche 911 and hightail it back out of there. But,
Porsche?
yes, Porsche. It
Porsche?
was 81, yeah, Porsche.
Wow.
Yeah. So he goes to turn away from the counter where the innkeeper is, and he is surrounded by ghouls.
Gold
They're wearing
everywhere.
like grave.
Goals to the left of me. Goals to the right of me. Goals in front of me.
So he hightails it up to his room, and he's trapped.
Yes.
A little bit later, a young girl who looks human but is dressed in like an old-fashioned nightgown
Yes.
gives him some rabbit stew.
Ooh.
And
I wouldn't eat a buddy stew. That's not nice.
she actually is very kind to him, and he ends up asking her for help to get out of there. And she helps him if he promises to get her new clothes. Pretty dresses like her mama used to wear.
Pretty dresses.
Yes.
Yes.
So they leave the room, they're chased by ghouls, they hightail it to the church, and then, I'm not going to give away the ending.
You isn't?
No, this was my favorite segment. It was creepy. The ghouls' makeup was, though basic, it looked good, it looked creepy. At the very end, the end segment, Aramis, played by Vincent Price, wants to give John Carradine a membership into the Monster Club,
Yes.
who John Carradine declines, saying he's human, he's not a monster, he would not qualify. Vincent Price gives a long speech explaining how humans are even more hideous and horrible than monsters.
Yes.
Yes. And how
You know what? They are sometimes.
they are. So it's really cool. All the monsters then agree that John Carradine should be a member of the Monster Club, and I think they do another musical number.
Yes.
Yes. Bucky, how would you rate this one? So,
It kept you entertained.
how many skulls, Bucky?
4 out of 4.
4 out of 4, and I totally agree with Bucky. If you have not seen The Monster Club, it is the perfect Halloween film. It's good for almost all ages.
And the more you watch it, the more you love it.
It's not, there's no fun gore. There's no gore.
No.
Yeah. There's only a little bit of blood.
A little bit.
And the movie's got creeperific atmosphere.
What was that drink they were drinking? It didn't look like blood.
I think it
Like
was
some punch.
Type O.
Typo.
I think it was V8.
V8?
I don't know. Okay. I also agree. 4 out of 4 skulls. We won't steer you wrong.
Nope.
So, my friends, until next week, remember, as always, keep it scary.
Keep it scary. Keep it scary.
Hey, Bucky,
Yes, doctor.
cut that film.
Cut that film. Cut that film. Cut it. Cut it.